Hi, folks. Dr. Mckay here, and I'd like to share some amazing things that are happening. It's Tuesday night, the 31st. It's the first day of the fourth marking period. So I wanted to check in with our parents and make sure everybody was doing okay with the changes that we've put together, and also talk about a couple of important things to parents. But first, the rainbow. In the age of a pandemic, we have to look for some beauty anywhere we can find it. So there's a rainbow over Vernon last evening. All right, here's some important parent information. We're now in the fourth marking period, and the big change is there's numeric grades now being given in grades 4 through 12. So your students will be receiving a couple of assignments a week, could be as many as 3. They'll be receiving grades on those, and the grades are going into Genesis. You can keep track of how the grades are going. You will have the reports out from the third marking period in Genesis. We're not going to send anything out, but in Genesis, and they will come out at the end of next week. But I wanted you to make sure that we're now in the fourth marking period and grades are being given. As I stated last night, the one difference between the high school and Glen Meadow is that if Glen Meadow, the students are missing the assignments, they have 1 week to make it up, a Monday to a Monday. And if they do not make it up, it becomes a 55. At the high school, if they do not make it up during that 1 week window, it becomes a 0. So I want everybody to be very much aware of that. There has been some concerns about from parents about getting into Genesis. If you're concerned about the controls put in place for like missing books or lunch money owed, all those controls were lifted at the outset of the pandemic and the remote learning. So we want to make sure that everyone can access it. So if you can't access Genesis because you say you've forgotten your passcode or your password, or you thought that these situations had not been lifted, please contact the office of where your child goes to school by email. They will be able to put in a ticket for us, and we will make sure that it gets done. If you can't reach them, just send me an email at cmckay1@VTSD, and I will make sure to pass it along to Matt, who I was working with all day today, in order to get that message across. But Matt wanted to make sure that everybody knew you all have access to Genesis, and we want to make sure that all of you can see how your students are doing. Speaking of how students are doing, the play must go on. Poor Glen Meadow. They were ready to do their play, and now, of course, they're stuck with the coronavirus and all. So Ms. Sandler put on a rehearsal where everybody played their part at home. Truly, the play must go on. And I want to applaud all the students that are involved in the Glen Meadow play. Hopefully someday we all get to see this. Ms. Bruning is doing this amazing thing with fractions and food. And the idea simply is that the children learn fractions as they are cooking. So here are some great shots from some Vernon kitchens with some young people doing their fractions, but also having something delicious as a result of that. Good for you, Ms. Bruning. Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple of Vernon Superstars or Vernon heroes. This is Jen, and Jen Shearhole works at the high school. And I took a picture of her the other morning because this person who is responsible for being at home and being safe instead has taken all of the transcripts that needed to be sent out from our seniors to colleges, made sure that they're put in envelopes, addressed them to all the universities, came by Walnut Ridge, got into the office, got into the mailroom, and sent them out for our seniors on Monday morning. Kudos to Ms. Shearhole for all of her effort. Couldn't ask for any more from an employee. Seniors, you've got a real advocate on your hands there. Terrific. All right. Meadowmentum. I'm trying to keep track of all the people that are doing physical exercises as well. And this is a wonderful example of that. Congratulations to Mr. Clean, Mr. Oakes, Mr. Healy, Ms. Donahue, Ms. Jacoby, and Ms. Davenport. All their efforts to keep our students active during this time of sometimes inactivity. Last night on the podcast in which I was talking about how important it was to know that fourth marking period was here, I did mention that I'd be talking about this young man. Keith McCotter is a science teacher up at the high school. And along with John Bruno and Martin Peringer, they have done an amazing thing. Using our 3D printers, which we took out of the high school and moved to their labs, their lab in their homes, They are making face shields for local hospitals. These were created by our 3D printers. So we are delighted to say that they will be going out. I think that they've created over 50, and they will be going out today. So to Keith, to John, to Martin, to Roger Foco, congratulations on all of your hard work. We support you completely. Let me know if there's any other thing that I can do. As a matter of fact, Keith, if you see this, please let me know if you need any materials. Give me a call and we'll try to work that out. Okay. More Vernon Superstars. Russ Rogers and Mandy Hoffman, along with the science department, scoured all the science classes in the district and tried to get all the gloves that they could get a hold of. They have taken these gloves and Lysol and donated them to the University Hospital and also Hackensack Medical Hospital. Mr. Rogers made sure they got delivered to Ms. Hoffman, who then delivered them to the hospitals this afternoon. I want to congratulate both of them for being Vernon Superstars and doing all of this great work. Mrs. Mitchell is doing this amazing thing with her children. She basically said to her students, send me your baby pictures. So they have started to do that. And of course, she's making a collection. I think the most interesting thing about this is Miss Mitchell is asking parents to spend some time with their children, talking about a time that was probably better than the one we're in right now, in which they were born and people were happy. And I think that that's a very important reflection piece. I congratulate Miss Mitchell on this idea, a very important reflection piece for our parents and our children. Kim Gibson sent out a video to her children, and I appreciate all that she said in the video. And of course, here's a great shot of one of our young people creating art out of found objects. I'm going to take a look at another piece of artwork out of found objects in a minute. All right, high school PE with Mr. Berg. Everybody's staying active. You can see Scott up there in the top corner, and they're on Zoom, and they're doing these great exercises. So congratulations to the PE class. Way to stay active. All right, check this out. Can anyone guess who this person is right here? It was Pajama Monday at Rolling Hills. So I'm wondering if I'm sort of giving it away, and I probably will right now. The person on the right, of course, is Dr. Stumper. So congratulations. And look at that fine young man working from home in his pajamas, which most of us are doing these days. But it was Pajama Monday at Rolling Hills because it's Spirit Week at Rolling Hills. All right, there are superheroes everywhere. There's Dr. Stumper in his scrubs, paying tribute to the medical field. And of course, there's a couple of our teachers, Miss Sisto, I think it's Miss Haw, and Ms. Gannon, and they're going to visit a student because it was his birthday. What a wonderful picture. Heroes everywhere, heroes, heroes. Way to go, families, way to go, teachers. And there's a young man who's wearing the fireman's cap of his father, who is his hero. And of course, the V. The V is everywhere in our community, and people are sending me their Vs. So if you watch this podcast, send me your V. Let me know where people are having it, or just take pictures of people who have their Vs, the Vernon Vs, outside their house. I was talking about lost art before, or found art. This is from Rolling Hills. I don't know if you can see the cat, but this was developed by Colt, and I really appreciate it. I wanted to get these pictures in the podcast. We were struggling to try to get these pictures, but this is a really good example of building art out of stuff around your house. All right, here are some animal creations. We had some Lego challenges going on with Mr. Joseph, and of course, our students were creating animal projects out of that. And we appreciate all the things that the kids are doing at home and the fact that parents are sending pictures. And finally, students saying hi to their teacher who drove by in a car. It doesn't get any better than this. The teachers had signs saying, "We miss you." And of course, the children were out on their lawns waving. And then, of course, we close with this picture from the Myron house. This is learning in a whole new way. We're learning at home. We're using everything we possibly can to make our homes classrooms. And therefore, I'd like to end this podcast with thanking all of our parents who are doing an amazing job of being co-teachers this entire time. I will keep in touch with you all week long. I will continue to send out podcasts. Send me your pictures. Let me know what's going on. And if anybody has any questions or needs anything, again, CMCKAY1 @VTSD. I'll get right to you. Okay. Be safe. We love you. Take care.